Jeremy Weiss here, live at RetailX. We're here with Maria, who hails from the Ukraine.
Hi.
Maria, tell us about your company and what you do.
Sure. So OWOX BI is personal marketing analyst that helps you solve attribution problems and helps you forecast your marketing fulfillment plan, mainly working with large e-commerce businesses.
So walk me through a client and what they do with your
Okay, so
company.
basically, let's say our typical client is e-commerce business that has online and offline presence, and they want to evaluate efficiency of their ad campaigns
Any
that they
clients
run.
you want to talk about, or you can talk about?
I mean, I can talk about some of them. We
Okay.
have like a bunch of public case studies.
Okay,
Let's
yeah,
say like
what's one?
Darjeeling.
Okay.
It's a lingerie brand from France. So they have like online presence, offline presence. They came from offline, used to be like huge. I mean, it's still a huge company, but like their main presence is offline. So their e-commerce team would struggle saying that, we need to get more budget for our tasks. And their like board directors would say, it's good, but you guys only bring 5% of the revenue to the company because we're mainly offline. So what we help them do, we help them measure how their online ads and overall online presence helps influence offline sales. And it turned out that actually they bring 40% of offline sales. So it was so
Really?
much easier for them to justify a new budget. And yeah, that's
Wow.
one of the examples of our
What's
product.
another one?
Another one, let's say you have, I think we can talk about MVideo. It's a huge multi-channel retailer of electronics goods in Russia. So they have their campaigns across different channels, and we help them bring data from their ad platform, from their website, from other sources into Google BigQuery, and analyze their ad campaigns efficiency considering their mutual impact. And they would redistribute their ad budget accordingly to that and increase their sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you get into this?
That's a good question. Actually, I've started in this company 6 years ago as a support manager. And from there, I became product manager. And from there, I decided to be a business analyst, moving through different departments in the company. At some point, I've started doing sales. And then we've decided, okay, we need a marketing department. So I'd lead marketing and sales department.
Right.
And from there, I decided, okay, that sounds awesome, but now I want to be responsible for developing our business unit in the States. And that's how I'm here. And that's my path in the company.
So what's the evolution of the company like? So,
Okay.
because you've been for 6 years, I'm sure you guys have probably grown in different arenas. What was it like then? What were you doing compared to now?
Okay, yeah. So our company has really extensive experience and background in e-commerce because we used to produce platforms for online stores. Let's say something like Magento, but like a long time ago in Ukraine. And we would work directly with e-commerce businesses to help them, go online. And at some point, we also started doing analytics, Google Analytics, reselling their Google Analytics 360. And so we had this e-commerce experience and analytics experience, and we saw that there is like some tools and some gaps that need fulfillment. So we built our internal tools to help our clients, and it actually turned out that there was a demand for them at the market. So we've brought that from internal tool to a product.
So you're in the Ukraine. What's the difference, Ukraine e-commerce and the landscape of e-commerce in the States?
Okay, so we don't have Amazon in Ukraine. Neither we have Walmart. So it's very.
What do people do? No,
There are other big stores
I
there.
get 10 packages a day from Amazon. No.
When I'm here, I also do that, and
So you have Walmart.
No, we don't.
Oh, you don't?
We have other marketplaces, but like Ukrainian based, so we don't have the huge international. I think like the closest Amazon got to Ukraine is to Czech Republic. I'm not sure though. So yeah, we have more independent players that don't overlap at any platforms that much. So that would be one big difference. Second, I don't know, to me it seems that people in Ukraine, in Russia, in Europe, they care more about their ad budget. So they spend way more attention measuring ad campaigns than here, because like
Why do you
here
think that is?
I don't know, here marketing is way elder than in Ukraine, so I would assume that marketing analytics would be like more developed here. But people just measure campaigns separately, looking mainly at clicks and awareness, but not really connecting that to sales. And that's sort of a challenge for me that I want to figure out like why it happens here, and if there is anyone at the market who really wants to measure it, or just people spend their dollar trying to get clicks and visits to the website. What do you think about it?
US is egocentric? I don't know. We just want clicks.
That's
no,
it?
I'm just kidding. I have no idea. We just like big numbers. So what are some of, you probably see a lot of different challenges and some of the mistakes people are making in e-commerce. What are some of those that you're seeing as a common trend?
Okay, so the first one, and I think is a big one, data literacy. So basically there will be like different teams on the team looking at the same numbers, and each of the teams understands those numbers differently. So they won't be aligned, and they won't have like, taxonomy for the metrics that they have. They won't like, really communicate those numbers between each other. So, overall data understanding, I'm not sure if I can like, say it that way, but like people don't really understand the data that they're looking at.
And or they're not looking at the data maybe.
That's another. Yeah. So what we often run into is that, let's say it's a multi-channel business, they have their online and they have their offline, and they look at them separately. But customers don't go separately online or offline. They actually switch between one another, and sometimes it's like even within one day. And also you have mobile there. So not connecting the dots is another big thing. And I can understand why it happens, because connecting these like touch points takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of, I think it was like recent research by McKinsey where they said that only about 8% of attempts to build data lake that will have all this data succeed, and the rest fails. So not having all this data in single storage, I think is another big problem. And those companies who succeed and get this data together, they don't look at it, and they trust their gut feelings making decisions.
Right.
And that's another big one. I think those three. So data literacy, connecting data and using the data they have. And I think that like these three problems, they're common for pretty much every market I've worked with.
What do you see as the future? What's going to be a future trend that people are going to start looking at when they're trying to grow their e-commerce business?
I think, with the competition like getting bigger and bigger and more tough, people will try to, I hope they will try to, finally measure their efforts and look not only on clicks, but actually, understand where they spend their money and what is the return on that investment.
What's working the best?
For what?
For people spending their money. Where should they spend their money?
It really depends on the niche, and it really depends on your strategy. So let's say if you're a huge retailer already, your goal would be to retain your customers. And if you're like a new, just startup that sells something specific, your goal will be to acquire new customers. So it really depends on, first, the size of the business, second, their goals, and third, their maturity model.
Where can people find more about you and your company online?
Yes, you can go at OWOX.com and check there. We have all information. We have a lot of really cool case studies with e-commerce businesses that I think can be handy for companies here.
All right, check them out live from RetailX.